Alright then, so 80% win rate strategy. I'm going to show you what the strategy is, and then I'm going to show you some of the trades I've taken this week that have been absolutely perfect for my strategy and my setup. So I'm just going to show you what it is, and then we're going to get into it. As always, before we begin, please do like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, ask me questions down below as well. And if you do want to get alerts and signals for my winning trades that I take every week, you can get them in the description below in the WAP. So let's take a look at the charts then. Very simply, my strategy, I'm just looking for, say for example, this is your market structure on like the 5 minute. I'll just go and mark out these obvious areas of liquidity like this. And then really very simply, this takes me like 30 seconds. I do this every morning. I'll just go and wait for, set alerts at these levels, wait for these liquidity levels to get hit. And then once we get that, I'm looking for inversions back to the upside of fair value gaps like this after a sweep of liquidity. And then I'm just looking to enter on the inversion and target back up through the levels of liquidity on the opposite side, which is really very simple. You can see here my long tool is looking a little bit worse for wear. There we go. So I'd basically enter on this inversion. I've sized for about halfway between the low and the gap. If we close back below, that will be a loss, but if we get to 1 to 1, I'll take half my position off here, and then I'll set runners. I'll go break even on the rest and set runners back up through liquidity. And generally what I'm looking for is a 3 candle V-shaped pattern like this. This is absolutely the best kind of trade that I can take, that I've found. Absolutely incredible risk to reward usually, and really high chances of working. As you can see, this would be the trade. Let me just use this one. And then I'd basically be looking for, say for example, you've got your sweep here. 3 candle pattern V-shape, inversion, enter on the inversion, and then basically target a 1 for 1. Go break even and take half my position off at 1 for 1, and then hold runners back up through levels of liquidity. And it's really that simple, guys. Nothing too complicated here. And I'm going to show you some of the trades that I took over the past few days, because there have been some really textbook examples. So let's take a look at it. Right now I'm actually looking at this potential 15-minute long. This is outside of this model particularly, but I just feel like we're definitely going for all-time highs, and I'm just trying to catch the move back to the upside here with, looks like this 5 minutes closed. So if you were going to take an inversion to the upside, this would be it for the 5 minute. If the 15-minute closes here as well, we're definitely going to these highs and continuing. But anyway, let's take a look at some of the trades that I have taken over the past few days. Let's go on auto here. So yesterday, really awesome textbook trade here. So we're chopping around for open. We get the swing to the lows, swing to the downside for the open here. We actually come down and bounce off of 50%. As you can see, really good reaction to 50% here. And overall, you can see we've come down, we've swept all this liquidity out, and then we get this really bullish V-shape back to the upside. We didn't get it in the 3 candle pattern, but we got it in the 4 candle pattern on the 5 minute here. And this was pretty much as simple as you like. As you can see here, I would have took this with about 2 or 3 micros if I was going to be taking this with $200 risk, which is what I risk for my 25k accounts. I'm on my 50k accounts, which I've got 25 of, I should say, copy traded across. You can see here, pretty obvious area of liquidity above. As you can see, this is just a lot of stacked liquidity. There was actually triple equal highs here as well, which is another area of liquidity you could target with ICT. As you can see, this was a really obvious one. We come up and smack this straight away. I took half my position off here from 1 micro. So I think I took this with 3 micros. So I took 1 off here and then held the rest for the highs. I started trailing on the 2nd micro, got up to around a 2 to 1 on that one. And then the final micro, I trailed all the way up to about, I would say, a 3 to 1 up here for about $300 or $400 profit overall with $200 risk. Maybe even about $450, $500, depending on where I trailed to. But overall, a good day and a very simple trade, as you can see. All the things that I was looking for. We've got obvious sweep of liquidity. These are obviously, I would consider these major lows because there's so many stacked up. Really good momentum back to the upside, inversion back to the upside, obvious liquidity above. And as you can see, this one did have a bit of a big stop loss if you size halfway between the low and the gap, but you can see the momentum on this one really sold me, and I could tell that this was going to run all the way back up. So that was a good trade. And then the day before, there was also a good trade for me during London session. If you take a look here, you can see quite clearly obvious sweep of liquidity, and then really beautiful textbook 5 minute V-shape, as textbook as you like. 3 candle pattern V-shape, really good momentum back to the upside after sweeping this low. Simple as you like. Enter on the inversion, as I said. As always, sized for about halfway between the low and the gap. Took this with about 4 micros on this one, as you can see. On NQ, this tool is sized for $200 risk, so I can get my sizing correct before I take trades. So 4 micros here on this one. As you can see, this one came up, hit the 1 for 1. Took half my position off here, $100 profit, go break even on the rest, and then it's a free trade. And then as you can see, we kept running up for a while here. Bit of a chop over lunch for London at least, not for New York. And then as you can see, we got another impulse to the upside here. I scaled another one out of my position up here at about a 4 to 1 because I didn't know whether or not we were going to break to the upside out of this area. And obviously gambling on open, going towards open after being in so much profit wasn't something I was willing to do. So I took another $150, $200 off here. So I'm already up around $300 on this position. I've still got one more micro at break even, and I just left it. And then as we can see, my final micro, after we almost came back down about halfway, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I should close. And then I thought I'll just wait till open, and then we blasted all the way up to this high here, which is where I TP'd finally for around an 8 or a 9 to 1 on the final micro, which was pretty wild. About a $600, $700 per account day, which frankly is pretty insane. And these were the 2 trades that I took this week. Absolute bangers. This one was on Monday. Obviously yesterday was the Tuesday one. Both of these just 5-minute longs after sweeping liquidity, and looking like we're in a very, very bullish trend right now, as you can see. Pretty obvious to me that we're probably just going to continue to trend all the way up to all-time highs at this point. You can see we've got good momentum. Gold's absolutely pumping as well. In my opinion, I think we're going for this high here at 530, which would obviously be a pretty nice move from the current price. You can see we're inverting fair value gaps here to the upside after coming back down. I don't see any reason why this would stop, to be honest. We've just inverted this 15-minute here as well. So I was considering I might take a trade on this, to be honest, and just basically I'm probably going to just long this with 1 micro and then just have a stop at the low down here, about $100 risk on my accounts, and then just basically target like a 5 to 1 back up to this high. This is the idea that I've got right now. You can see if I could take this with like 1 micro, there should be about $200 or $100 risk down here, and then basically just target like a 5 to 1 for about $500 profit, because we are incredibly bullish right now. We've never really looked like inverting anything to the downside on the 15-minute here in an incredibly bullish period of the market, and I want to take advantage of this. I think this is quite likely, in my opinion, to just go. This is going to go at least to these highs here. We've inverted this 5-minute here. I think this at least goes to this high where I'll go break even, and then hopefully this will just continue to move to the upside. I think this is the trade that I might take today, just with light size, because this isn't really conventionally the model. As I said, we have swept liquidity, but obviously this is nowhere near a 3 or 4 candle pattern V shape. But overall, I've got pretty good conviction we're going to keep pumping here, because we are so bullish on the week. As we can see, we've basically just gone straight up if you start zooming out. All my alerts here that I've set for lows to be coming back and getting swept, as you can see, are pretty unlikely to get hit here, let's just say that. So right now, I'm just going to wait and see what happens with this. I might take this trade, I might not, but I think this is probably fairly likely to work out. We'll have to wait and see if we can get ourselves a trade from a better position down here. We might come back and rebalance one of these gaps, but we have already rebalanced this hourly, as we can see. Maybe there's a 4-hour here that we could create and then come back and rebalance. Right now, as you can see, this would probably make sense. Come back, balance this gap, and then continue. But right now, I've took 2 trades that are good this week, and I'm just chilling and waiting to see what will happen next. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you do want to get more information about the strategy and alerts and signals for this trade, all the trades that I take personally, including those 2 bangers that we took this week, which are all in the private Discord, you can get it down in the description below. Sign up for the WOP, and you'll get access to the private Discord there. As always, I do appreciate you watching. Please do like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And leave a comment down below with your questions, and I will catch you in the next video. Cheers.